Hello Hornets, thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be taking a look at the second activity that I gave you today. This activity was on finding equations of tangent lines, finding derivatives, and I asked you to know the product rule, quotient rule, and the chain rule. Now in doing this, I've done it with f of x and g of x, where you do not know what g of x is, but you do know what f of x is. So you're going to need to find your f of 1 and f prime of 1. Now when we use our derivative, if you recall, we're going to start by taking the first piece, and I can see that it's got a product rule. So I'm looking at 9x squared times the natural log of x. The 1 is going to go to 0, but I have to worry about that product rule first, so don't just jump to the 0. Start and look at the natural log next. We're going to have 3x cubed times 1 over x, and then I can add the 0. I'm now going to simplify this. This is giving me 9x squared, natural log of x, plus 3x squared. Notice that the x down here is going to reduce the power of x cubed by 1, so that it will become an x squared. I can now plug in the 1. Natural log of 1 is 0, and therefore I have 9 times 0 is 0 plus 3. This tells me that f prime of 1 is 3. We're going to need to find out what f of 1 is, so I'm going to look at what f of x is. 3x cubed, natural log of x plus 1, and when I plug in the 1 for the x, this entire piece is going to go to 0, leaving me with just 1. So I now know that f of 1 is 1, and f prime of 1 is 3, and I can go to my point-slope formula. F of x minus f of 1 is equal to f prime of 1 times x minus c, or 1. Putting all of my information in, f of x minus 1 equals 3, x minus 1 is now the equation of my tangent line, and I'm now ready to do a tangent line approximation if I need to. Now this is the most common next step in an FRQ. We will then have to look at, is it going to be an overestimate or an underestimate? And to do that, we'll have to find our second derivative. Luckily, this question doesn't go there. So here we go. We're going to go to the next part. H prime of 1. So you'll notice I have the quotient rule here. So I'm going to have to set up my quotient rule. F prime of 1, g of 1, minus f of 1, g prime of 1. Then I'm going to divide by g of 1, the quantity squared. Now we have all of this information between what we found right down here, f of 1, f prime of 1, and what was given to us in the original problem. G of 1 is 3, and g prime of 1 is negative 2. And we're going to now fill that in. So 3 times, let's make sure we've got that. Derivative of 3 times 3 minus, and then we have a 1 times a negative 2 all over 3, the quantity squared. We're now simplifying this. So we have 9 plus 2 divided by 9, and my answer is 11/9. The second question, or the fourth question down, is finding k prime, and k is using the product rule, so we're now repeating ourselves, but we're using the product rule. F prime of 1, g of 1, plus f of 1, oh wait a minute, I've got a g prime of 1 there, it should be g of 1. Notice how easy it is to make a silly mistake if we're not careful. And then g prime of 1. This is giving me 3 times 3, just like we had up in this line here, but instead of having a minus, we now have a plus. Now this is why I tell people to be consistent between your quotient and your product rule for the numerator of the quotient rule. Now when I do this, I have 9 minus 2 and my answer is 7. Now the last question we have is asking us to work with the chain rule. This is probably the most difficult question that we have because that chain rule often gets people. Start by rewriting your m of x. Make sure you use the fractional or rational power 1/2. This allows us to find m prime of x by taking our general power rule first. Make sure we put negative 1/2, and then the chain rule giving me f prime of x. We're now going to put this together as m prime of 1 is f prime of 1 in the numerator because it has a positive exponent, and then we have 2 square root f of 1. Substituting my known values into this, I can see that I have 3 over 2 times the square root of 1, and the square root of 1 is 1, which leaves me with 3/2. And therefore, m prime of 1 is 3/2. That was our second activity that we did today after our warm-up, and I hope that it has helped. This is a review of our Chapter 3 that we were working on prior to Chapter 4, obviously, and this is what we've been doing for quite some time. Hopefully this has helped. If it is positive, please remember to click like, and if, however, you find that there's constructive criticism, please feel free to give it to me. Thank you very much. Be well and be safe, and take care. Cheers, Hornets. Bye-bye.